basic truth can be used as a foundation for a mountain of lies. And if we dig down deep enough in the mountain of lies and bring out that truth to set it on top of the mountain of lies, the entire mountain of lies will crumble under the weight of that one truth. And there is nothing more devastating to a structure of lies than the revelation of the truth upon which the structure of lies was built, because the shock waves of the revelation of the truth reverberate and continue to reverberate throughout the earth for generations to follow, awakening even those people who had no desire to be awakened to the truth. Right, we're back. Is it 5:05? Can you hear me before we jump into everything? Unbelievable. Welcome back, everybody. See, lots of love here. Lots of love. Welcome back, Patriots. It's been a long 5 years. Jimmy B, I see ya, and I got your message, and I will get back to you after the show. Very busy weekend. C. Stockton still holding the wrench. We got some mods back 5 years later. 5:05, Melanie, Patriot Hour, James Boggs, Eric Gibson, tons of names I remember. Wow. All right, it has not been without trying. All right, I have been, like most people, coming back 5 years, a little over 5 years on YouTube. Unbelievable. All right, I've probably done an appeal to them just once a year to make sure the channel was still, because for a long time it was in a dormant state, folks. All right, it was in a state that it was there. You can look in analytics, it was still all there. But then before this congressional thing, a couple weeks ago, I decided to do my annual one, probably back in July. So before any of that, just July, sitting here, sent off an appeal. It said give us 2 to 3 days, and well, that took like 3 months. Right at the beginning of September, like September 8th, I got, unfortunately, no, we'll keep your channel, we'll never bring it back. And I was like, man. And then they did some kind of clicking over there. Whoever did that last one, it was kind of gone. I was like, oh man, that was maybe my last chance. 5 years, okay. And I didn't, I really just wanted to be able to touch base with you guys again. But yeah, so I had to wait for that. I kept trying to appeal after the congressional thing, and it kept saying, hey, we just appealed your channel. We look at your last email, which said no. Finally this week it looked a little different. I got in and it kind of took me into the studio and had the second chance thing. Again, I didn't even do that second chance. I just quickly went back and did a normal appeal. And yesterday at 3:30, I got the email, you're back on. So, yeah, long time. Yeah, I went to all the other platforms. It was really tough. Creatively, when you take a hit like that, it just, you're like, hey, how am I going to operate over here? Pretty much did the same thing. Stuck to what I was covering, what I believe to be. In this journey, we're all always researching and trying to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, it was really rough. Rumble early on, had to do a lot of gear copying, I mean, it was a rough thing. They're now really great, and Rumble is here. We're on live on Rumble, and I think the chats are meshing up on the screen. But great to see a lot of you. So, how's everybody been? I have got links starting up. If you get to, I think I just did it on the main YouTube, but the Rumble link is there. I really suggest a lot of you, like before, check out some other platforms. We know YouTube has the most amount of users. It comes pre-installed on every phone. It's easy. Do not get me wrong. When you have the biggest budget, the most amount of users, you're going to be cutting edge on some of the tech, on the innovating properties within that app. So, all right, I want to get back to phone calls. We're going to probably do that. This is something old I used to use. My daughter recently just found it. And she had said the Pledge of Allegiance in one of the old videos. You guys might remember. She is grown super tall. But yeah, she found this and thought it was a vape. I think I found a vaporizer, but it's just a Magic Jack. It's a USB. Nobody in here in the house vapes, but she's seen them out. Everyone's vaping all the time. But yeah, no, Magic Jack. That was the way. I'm probably not going to go back to that. We had a lot of issues. I remember having to get another app to get, call waiting turned off. Kind of had like this hacking app for the Magic Jack. But I'm actively researching that. So get back to at least a live show a week of call-ins, like literally an hour of just call-ins. It would be great. And then another live show a week of information. Frankie Freedom over on Rumble. How's Woodman? Woodman he just actually got a hold of me today. I didn't get back to him in time to try to have him here in studio. So definitely look for a live show with Woodman this week coming up for that. All right, so Woodman is doing great, by the way. You guys see the new studio here. The last time it was in a different part of the house, so here is the new studio, new machine built. Got a cam on the inside that is going by the water pipes. Called this machine Mr. Chili Pipes. Stays super cold. Built it all myself. Put in the loops and everything in the piping. Bent them. It is a art piece. Liquid cooled. Liquid cooling the GPU. Liquid cooling the CPU. No issues like we used to have back in the day. After about an hour show, get really hot. The machine itself was a beast. My old one. Ran it for 13, 14 years. Still going as a secondary thing in the house. It's a good server. All right, so again, looking at just tons of people I haven't seen in a long time. So after the banning, which was for us, it was actually, if you remember, it was under Trump still. It was that early on, right? This whole second chance program was actually under Biden for them pressuring, but we know that there was probably some push, because we know that, the first time Trump was in towards the end, throughout the whole process, there were people embedded that, were against him. So there's no doubt that they're already working actively to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop, which turned out to be 100% true. And that was one of the things we were covering. So it was late September, I believe 9/24, 2020 was when we got cut off. So about a little over a month before the election of 2020. But it's been a crazy 5 years. Met tons of great people, lots of patriots all throughout the movement. Had tons of them on the Rumble channel. Went to different events, Reawaken America tour. Was invited to every single one of those and met tons of great people. Networked our butt off. I mean, but to be back here where we started, unbelievable. Tons of patriots still here. We and again, folks, we said it here before. I have, and I can only speak for myself, but I came into this telling you here at the Patriot Hour, I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I I'm a constitutionalist. Still got tons of these sitting around. If you guys remember some of the coins we had, this isn't one, the armor of God. I'm going to send a few of those out again. I want you guys to email me. I want you to go outside of your box a little bit, get over to some of these other platforms. I want to see the Rumble channel that I sat there for 5 years and actually had that set up a little wrong early on. Like I had a main channel. My other one was kind of hidden. It was surprisingly that anybody found me in that first year, but I think we got to 10,000. And then I went in and kind of switched things around and made it very visible. And then, we gained another 15. So it'd be great to get that channel up. But, there's people over there and there's people over here. And that's just the way it works. I get it. So Daniel Bird got the wrench. She's in. Great to see the mods. C. Stockton, Daniel Bird. Day 1, 5 years to, a little over 5 years. You guys are just right back at it. So happy to see you are back. Missed you, Jennifer Hill. Appreciate it. Missed all of you as well. Okay, a few things that we did talk about, picking up from 5 years ago. Comey. We all know what he did. More so, things have come out that we didn't know. Little things. How could we have? The FBI was proactively covering all that up at the time. But we never forget the email scandal with Hillary, letting her off of all those charges. Now we're finding out there was a thumb drive that he hid. Congress wanted it investigated. He said no. I mean, if they would have actively really checked into all her emails and everything on that server, they would have had everything up to the moment of her plotting to frame Trump with Russia crap and a dossier to frame him and to take away from her scandal, to create one for him. How funny the FBI gets all that information early on and they ignore it, and then they end up landing on investigating Trump when they had very clear evidence, not to. So all that's coming down. Bolton this week probably be the next indictment. Now we just had Lolita James. I got a little video queued up for her. I got one for Comey to remind you just some tidbits of things from back in the day, because it's all really relevant. We were right on point, folks. And I hope in these last 5 years that you have learned one thing, that is, again, don't take my word for it. Don't believe me. Not that I ever try to lie. We, dig for the truth together. All right. You got to chew the meat and spit out the bone. Like the title of the video, real lies, real lies, real lies. All right. That over time, that becomes easier. I know some of you now can listen to the news, whether it's Fox News or CNN or MSDNC, and you know that these people are fibbing. It is so easy to see the longer you do it. So Bolton, his story, all right, if you remember, Trump fired him. That guy signed 2 lifetime NDAs with the government. 2 lifetime NDAs. All right, you get into the technical names of each form, but he can never talk. But he wanted to. The minute he got fired, he wanted to come out with a book, My Time in the Room with Him. That was the name of the title of the book, My Time in the Room. I mean, not even gone a year and you're trying to talk, but you have 2 lifetime NDAs. So therefore, he had to submit these books to the government. Now, then he claims, Bolton himself claims unilaterally, that the government was slow playing him and his book. Hurry up. I mean, you just got fired. Nobody was probably in a rush to get your book out there with 2 lifetime NDAs behind it. But and all the note taking, I guess he was took copious amounts of notes. And when he left, he took all these notes, and then he wrote this book, and then he shoved a copy over to the government, claimed his story is that they took too long, that they were slow playing him. So he went ahead and released it to his publisher anyway and said, hell with Trump's government and process of looking over all of my stuff in this book I want to release. And it went to court, and the judge did not rule in his favor. All right, it did not rule in Bolton's favor. He actually said he probably created grave national security damage, but it's too late. His book's already to the publisher. What the government was asking to do also on top of that was to take all proceeds and take the book and shelve it. But the judge said that was too late because it was already given, and not to say that the government can't come back at you, Mr. Bolton, in a future date over this. And then they left, and he sold the book. The book came out. It was already out. It was already in the publisher's hands, already making hundreds of copies, thousands of copies, hundreds of thousands of copies. Then Trump's, that administration came after him again, and it was litigating. It was going to court. Then come the election, it went away. All right, Biden supposedly won. Biden shut it down. Their administration shut it down. Now, doesn't that look funny? We always say, well, Bolton was a Republican, a warmonger and Republican. He did stuff to help that next administration, clear as day. Why would they come in and then shut it down? He played ball. He did whatever they wanted him to. So it's very easy to spot that kind of stuff. Very easy. Very, very easy. Okay. Again, showing you guys, I'm going to show you a clip here of, which one do I want to show? All right, we'll start with the Comey, since we're talking about Comey, Bolton, people going down. We can start, naming who's going to go next. But you guys probably remember this one. The Patriot Hour.
Good morning. I'm here to give you an update on the FBI's investigation of Secretary Clinton. What I want to do is tell you what we're recommending. But first, let me tell you what we found. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top secret, 36 of those chains secret, and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Everything I did was permitted. There was no law, no regulation.
Secretary Clinton should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, not even Gmail.
But first of all, nothing was marked classified.
To the contrary,
Nothing was marked classified.
there is evidence, a
Nothing was
tremendous
marked.
amount, a
Nothing was
tremendous
marked
amount.
classified.
Now let me tell you what we found.
my gosh.
110 emails.
It was not the best choice.
52 email chains
It was a mistake.
have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it
8
make?
of those chains are top
It wasn't
secret.
the best choice.
36 of those chains
I said
secret.
it was a mistake.
And 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it
With
make?
respect to our recommendation, this is going to be an unusual statement in at least a couple of ways. Although there is evidence, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. What difference at this point does it make? 110 emails.
It wasn't the best choice.
52 email chains
I made a mistake.
have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it
8
make?
of those chains are top
It was not a
secret.
good choice.
36 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Yep, that is a banger. Everyone should be blaring that in their car all the way to work every day. Yes, burn bags. James Corney, hiding his name in the FBI database. If you search Comey, it's not going to come up because it's all under Corney. Instead of having an M there, they use the R and the N. Or, the R to the M. So, yeah. Unbelievable the amount of crap we've had to deal with to get to this point. And then, the media is spinning it as a revenge tour. Trump, it's not, they don't cite that these people have broken the actual law. It's almost like we said, the projection, right? Everyone that was really loud, those who were the loudest, right? Those who scream the loudest are the most guilty sometimes, most of the time, almost all the time. It is unbelievable the amount of cover-up that took place. All right, all the way. I mean, this whole little coup didn't stop, right? All the way up to raiding Mar-a-Lago. All right, we didn't get to see a perp walk of Comey, Corny. Unbelievable, comes in the back door. A little administrative error. They didn't, have... He was able to just report he needed to get there by a certain time, and he come in the back door. A little different than what we'd like to see. All right, we deserve that perp walk. They raided all these people's homes. All right, Comey went around and got everybody on the lying charge. You even go back to like Martha Stewart. That's his favorite. All right, they come there. If you remember, that's how they got Flynn. Kind of, we went early on in the administration. I didn't think I'd be able to do that in anybody else's organized administration. Trump was such chaos. We just snuck in there, got him to lie, got him on that process crime. That's how they do it. Never a mistake. All right, they come knocking on your door, ask you questions. Think twice about talking. Don't be lying, because that's what these questions they ask you when they first get in your face are things they already know. And they're trying to get you to lie, so then they come back at you and say, look, we got you on lying. Dead to rights. And then this is what this guy does. All right, 2 weeks after coming out on TV with talking about Hillary, and she had that song, no right to have anything on Gmail even. He did that. As the head of the FBI, they set up a Gmail. He started forwarding things over there, memos and whatnot, as the head of the FBI in preparation to launch a Operation Leak stuff over to the media, my buddy, in hopes that, he'll get it to the media in hopes that we'll go to special counsel. It's exactly what he did. It's like he took cues from what Hillary did to be able to do himself. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, now on to John Bolton. Probably see him arrested. Hopefully get the perp walk on old Bolton. All right, John Bolton expected to be charged criminally as soon as next week. All right, the case has been before a grand jury for several weeks, investigating whether Bolton improperly possessed classified national security information. All right, so John Bolton, President Donald Trump's former national security advisor, is facing criminal charges as soon as next week, MSDNC investigative journalist Carol Lenig reported Friday afternoon while on the air. Now, the acting U.S. attorney in Maryland is moving forward with the charges, Lenig reported, citing two people familiar with the case. The case has been before a grand jury for several weeks, investigating whether Bolton improperly possessed classified national security information in his Maryland home. Now, Bolton was fired by Trump during his first administration and has been a critic of Trump, a big critic. Right, supposedly a Republican, goes over to MSNBC and CNN, did all these interviews, talked about how Trump was sloppy and Trump had no respect for the handling of classified material. He didn't know how to do it. If something was on his desk, he'd grab it. If it was French fries, he'd grab it. If it was classified material, he'd grab it. He had no respect. That's exactly what that guy said. It looks like he doesn't have any respect for classified information. All right, so the FBI conducted a surprise raid on Bolton. All right, back on September 22nd. What is this? Yeah, September 22nd, in what was reported as a search for suspected classified records. All right, and information from the CIA and approved by a federal judge. So Bolton's attorney, Ab Lowell, said he had done nothing improper. Now, they got some kind of alert from over at the CIA, all right? Based on information, and the CIA is only dealing with stuff overseas. In a perfect world. So they got some kind of intel back that stuff he had was being discussed overseas, foreign. This isn't looking good for old Bolton. All right, Bolton, his attorney, said he had done nothing improper. He talked to his client. He has stated that documents with classified markings kept by Bolton were from his time as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations during the George W. Bush administration, were typical of those kept by some longtime government employees. Very normal. If you remember the Mar-a-Lago, it was, they were after the stuff that Trump declassified, the Russiagate, all of it. Trump declassified it the day before. He was on his Twitter. And we know that he used that as a record because he didn't want to go to the fake news. You don't have to go to CNN and say it in front of their cameras for it to be, truth. You can do it like he did on his Twitter or other accounts because he put all those to the record. All right, he gave every bit of that data over to the Records Act. And he declassified it publicly on one of those. I have the tweet. Written out 100%. I declassify everything. And guess what? The FBI didn't. They raided his home over it. They were acting like, well, we hadn't gotten to it yet. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. I mean, typically for anyone not the president and they want to declassify, yeah, there's a big, long process. For him, like they say, you can almost wait, not him, but the president, that amount of power that you can speak it, wave your hand over it, and it is declassified. Now you want to go with the process and let them have some time to get with each agency and redact some stuff. But he said the full thing was to be released, unredacted. He called for it. And they slow played, didn't do it. And I don't think they ever did until he got back in, and then he did it. Can't make this stuff up. All right, so now you're going to see the media spin it like that. It's a retribution tour. Not that these people committed real crimes. It's just Trump. Everybody does this. Well, didn't we, if everyone does it, then why did we go after certain people? Not playing tit for tat, but that, you keep it. You want to have some credibility, media, or people that want to, defend those doing it now. You should have defended it the last time it happened with other people, all people, but you don't. So we got a little video queued up for that. I'm pretty sure it's in here. Why don't I see it? Let's see here. All right, got it right here. I'll let this ad get done.
Never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president.
We're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him.
Tish getting what she dished.
I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president.
We're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him.
Tish getting what she dished. New York AG Letitia James indicted on mortgage fraud. After spending years weaponizing the courts against Trump and his businesses, she's suddenly crying foul about weaponization.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
But CNN says, what's the big deal? Everybody commits a little mortgage fraud.
What Tish James, and again, we're still getting the details, but if it's related to this mortgage issue, I mean, this is something that everyone in America, or many people at least, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy a house in America, you deal with this, right? The federal government doesn't go after all of these people for doing this.
They can only defend it now. Isn't that funny? So there you go. I mean, it is unbelievable. They talk about Trump is weaponizing. Now, it's not even Trump. It's his administration. And he ran off this, getting, equal judge. Nobody's above the law, if you remember them screaming that. Now, all of a sudden, these people are above it. Everyone does it. I haven't done it. I don't do that. Most people, if you're fortunate enough to, own a home, that's what she tried to spin it into. All right. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. This lady weaponized, if anybody, weaponized the office. New York ran on it. Wasn't even in office yet. If I get in, I'm going to go after Trump every day. I'll go in every day and look into Trump stuff. I don't know what he did, but I'm going to find something. Now, that's like the CIA. They history shows that they've said things like, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Because, you point somebody out, we're going to open our systems, we'll find you something. Everyone does something. That's what she did. And ended up being like a civil case. If, anybody was a victim, it would have been the bank would have came forward and filed charges. Nobody did. Somebody had to look, find something that wasn't really anything. It was undervalued. And to get taxed, so unbelievable. Now there's real grand jury, the process that these people love, indicted her. Evidently, they, more than half of this grand jury saw something that appeared to be a crime, and they wanted to move forward. Let's talk about that process. Let's stick with that, and have her day in court. Not this is just because of Trump. They don't even use the words that she did commit a crime. It's just Trump coming after her. It was her personally platforming, running on, and saying herself that she was going to do something, got into that position of office, and then totally did that all on her own behalf. This is, a department that we have that found this crime. They're acting like Trump's doing it himself. But, oh no, he's weaponizing his administration. Well, we saw a lot of that in the last administration. And again, crickets. So it'd be nice to have, and I know we all say that, to take these people seriously. They'd be screaming about it all the time, not just when it's, against their perceived people. Unbelievable. All right. So that's just showing you, jumping around a little bit, Comey, Bolton, this James, Attorney General out of New York. Letitia James, all right, slams Trump. She's the one that put herself in the spotlight. Some can say that here. Say, hey, I got banned on YouTube. Put myself in the spotlight, saying too much, going against their, after the first wave of us are gone before the election, then that next wave was all about COVID and medical misinformation, supposedly. Again, it's just nuts. It really is nuts. So look for Bolton. He'll be next. All right. Bolton is, saying he's done nothing improper. These are just old paperwork that everyone keeps when they leave. From his time back in the Bush era. Biden had stuff from his Senate time. All these people had stuff from 20 years old. You go back to Obama, I'm sure he has a bunch too. But they want to talk about Trump. And he's been out of office at the time when they got him 8 months, 9 months, By the way, they sent him this stuff. If you look into it, it was like they kept, hey, where do you want these boxes sent? And he ignored it, and they couldn't do the raid. Then finally, it was like, send them over here. They sent them. Then they did the raid after they sent the stuff to his place to be able to go raid. All right. That's another thing we'll find out. It is unbelievable. All right. Lots of stuff going on, folks, all around. All right. Joe Biden's team blocked CIA from distributing report on his son Hunter's Ukraine business dealings. Getting more and more coming out all the time. All right. The report raised concern about the double standard on foreign corruption, and the VP's office request to block was extremely rare and unusual. All right, so then Vice President Joe Biden's team intervened in February 2016 to prevent the CIA from disseminating an intelligence report to policymakers about the perceptions of senior Ukraine officials held about his son's business dealings, newly declassified. Everyone had a problem with this. I guess I got back to Obama even back then, and they were wanting it to go away. And they had no choice but to make it. I mean, they had a lot of scandals. People on that side, when you sit back and look, the left will cheer Obama's time was scandal-free. We had no scandals. Not true. Lots of scandals. The media didn't share it, didn't investigate it. They helped him keep it scandal-free. But there was lots of scandals. You just got to look. You just got to look. All right, here's a positive thing. Government shutdown. All right, Trump's talking about getting the military paid still. All right, we got these monies coming into the coffers, what we talked about. The Treasury has got its own money from tariffs, and you can do lots of things positively. We talk about smaller government, and a lot of people are on board with it until it comes to a town near you and it affects you. All right, we do not need the size of government. I'm big on that. More efficient. Look at the way they were doing these retirements, folks. People, when you want to retire out of the federal government, they had a silo, paperwork being roped up in boxes. You go to retire, they tell you, we got you slated from in September of next year. We go out in a 12-month window. You can retire in September of next year. That's when your physical paperwork will be able to be carted up by somebody in a box on a rope from one level of the silo to the next, because we're doing things in the 1950s manner still. Can we get some efficiency? Can we save a few bucks? All right, we're seeing that was one of the best things that ever happened was this Doge. If it's scary to you folks, you haven't done enough research, honestly, because there's lots of positive things, and it really just comes down to ideas. That's what I have figured out in all these years. Everyone's got their own ideas for what they want. All right, you want to put somebody up on a pedestal, you have 20 check marks, and if they disobey one of them, they don't mesh up with you no more. Screw hell with them. Where I will lobby for, hey, this guy is doing 19 out of the 20 things. Everything might not be right. You might have some issues with some of these people, but nobody's going to do 100%. I mean, if you were in control, what kind of things would you want done? And you're probably going to have a hell of a lot of enemies, because everyone's got their own agendas. Everyone's got their own fantasies. And in this day and age, and I've said it before, 5 years ago, before I got banned, and even at the start of all this, was we need to learn to talk to each other, because it really just comes down to ideas. All right, people have power, they have ideas. There's other people on the planet that don't have a lot of power at all, and they have ideas too. And is there anyone out there really doing it all for you to make it all better on this earth? Another human. All right, so it's ideas. Some of these people want to shove their ideas down your throat and grind it in with their fist if they could. So it's really a battle for ideas and what to put forth. And there's lots of good things still coming out of this administration. I know there's a lot of turmoil. People claiming that they've seen it all already and they don't need to see any more. But we live here in the United States, and we have a lot of problems here, and there's problems worldwide, and we know that. And a lot of them are connected. You have to take care of this one issue here to make something better over there. We're going to get into all of that now that we can get a few scheduled dates and times in. Okay, I don't know how this is going to extremely work. People are like, what deal do you have to make with YouTube? No deals. Just like from day one, I don't have any hand. I've not taken any large sums of money from anyone in my whole life. We don't have anyone's hand up my shirt in the back talking for me. You can see the turmoil, always was over it. Like InfoWars, Owen Schroyer left, or got fired, or had issues. He's starting to fade away off Trump. Some of these last few things are really big for people. Epstein, the FBI covering up maybe some of the Charlie Kirk stuff. All right, some of the video. Yeah, we want to see it all. The Epstein, I don't think we've heard the end of that. I think there's some paperwork coming out that Trump actually was a FBI informant, which we never knew about, on Epstein for lots of years, maybe since the Mar-a-Lago issue thing where he had an employee. All right. So we're going to cover here everything, no matter who it helps or who it hurts. All right. We've always said that. That's what the truth does. The truth is the truth, no matter who it helps or who it hurts. All right, you follow it. All right, we are. Dang, time goes by. Time flies by, doesn't it? All right, I'm gonna take a small little break here. Patriot Hour Reloaded. Next week's news. Now. All right, back at it, YouTube. Let the Patriot Hour back due to congressional. All right, their lawyer came out. We were wrong. We were politically pushed by the Biden administration, which I'm sure started months and months before, right? The connected people talking to the other connected people. Let's take these people down. All right, they're not going to help with the election. So that first wave of us was really bad. All right, I didn't get banned for any COVID stuff. I got banned. It was harassment, they called it. So I was in a different category. Harassing Hunter Biden, harassing these people. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like they're harassing my life as well by doing the things they did. But over the years, some of the exchanges between YouTube on the appeals, one time a couple years ago, I got back that, your channel's highly disturbing. We will not put it back on. I came back and said, well, the world is a highly disturbing place at this point in time. I'm sorry for covering that. What the hell? What in the hell? All right, so we're seeing a lot of left-wing dark money. All right, mega donors, including Soros, spent $20 million to oppose Trump's National Guard deployment in D.C. I mean, how can you fight against this stuff? I just want, for this next election, if they can get this stuff cleaned up, we can have an organic grassroots people with their own thoughts and what they want and who they want to vote for. Not all the propaganda. I mean, most of these people that are paid going city to city to be out there, the ICE, places and protest. It's not even organic. It's paid. They're out there to get a few other people maybe because, that's how it works. Hey, we're all out here. You should come out here. And it works, but it's not their own ideas. These people have to fund everything. All right, so long left-wing dark money, mega donors, people like Soros. Washington, D.C. is under siege not only from the rising crime, but also from left-wing dark money groups working to undermine law and order. All right, financial disclosures reveal the progressive mega donors, including George Soros, have poured more than $20 million into organizations backing protests against President Trump's crime crackdown in the nation's capital. All right, the center of the network is a free DC project sponsored by Community Change and Community change action. So the group has staged demonstrations near the White House to oppose Trump's deployment of the National Guard and his goal of federalizing the district's police force. The president's goal is straightforward: to restore safety by cleaning up the homeless encampments, increasing law enforcement presence, and making D.C. one of the safest cities in the world. Yet Free D.C. and its backers have mobilized to resist these efforts, using protests and coordinated campaigns to weaken public confidence in the crackdown. I mean, you know where this goes. We've talked about it. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. All right. Now, its principles urges their followers to take up space. All right. Do not obey in advance and engage in nightly disruptions and banging pots and pans in neighborhoods all across the city. I mean, at a minimum, you're going to get these, some tickets on disorderly conduct. It's just unbelievable. All right, the money trail exposes how deeply entrenched the dark money networks are in shaping D.C. politics. All right, and this isn't the only place that it happens. D.C. This has been funded all throughout the country. That's why the pallets of bricks will show up, or the water with the instructions on it. If pepper sprayed, use this and pour it on your eyes. If you're even able to read it at that point. But they, all right, very well funded, very well trained, this network, highly organized. All right, these funds were officially labeled for civil rights or social welfare, but have flowed into the groups manufacturing unrest in the streets. While Free DC only formally began in 2023, its rise coincided with congressional efforts to block controversial rewrite of DC's criminal code that would have reduced penalties for violent crimes. All right, this cult is funded by foreign billionaires. Christopher Hahn, who has spent more than $500 million on extremist Antifa radical groups for his own political gain. He's funneled money into the organizations with ties of the CCP, groups openly working to undermine America from within. So think about that. You got these people here that are getting propagated up by foreign donors, not even knowing why, and then the just to get the unrest going. These people really think they're fighting a cause. And they're just sitting over there laughing at you. Unbelievable. All right, the results are clear. A city plagued by shootings, carjackings, and assaults now faces activist groups that shield criminals and target those enforcing the law. Instead of backing policies that protect families, these organizations invest in protests designed to preserve a soft-on-crime agenda. All right. President Trump's approach, deploying law enforcement to restore safety, contrasts sharply with the left's strategy of funneling millions into the protests that protect offenders. At stake is not just D.C. safety, but the broader question of whether foreign-funded networks and progressive megadonors can dictate America's urban policies. Well, hell yeah, they do. The problem's been going on for far too long. All right, this is some of the crap we need to start with. All right, Democrats are giving up on democracy. Doesn't matter how unpopular Democrats' policies are, they're not going to negotiate. They're not going to compromise. Hopefully we come on the other side of this slimmer and less wasteful. I mean, we got to start somewhere, and I'm all for it. All right, again, I appreciate everybody this evening. It's great to see a lot of you back. I really want both platforms to really light it up here. Anytime we do a live show, it is the Patriots time. All right, this is why the Patriot Hour. This is definitely our hour. All right, the hour of the Patriots. Our time to shine from here on out. All right, we're going to keep an eye on everything coming down the pike. Report on every single indictment as they come. It's been a long process, but doing things by the law is a lot different than being a cheat and cutting corners, and banning people, trying to take people off ballots, and doing everything you can to destroy the lives of those. All right, the the process of law, the wheels of justice move slow, like we talked about, right? Imagine a big old wagon wheel and the horses hurt. But we're going to have to definitely speed it up a little bit. And I think things are going to start coming down these next few weeks. I want everyone to sound off. Tell me where you're checking in from. I always love that part of the show, and I've missed seeing it. So if you can, light up the chats with where you're from, just the city, you know, the state. The state's fine. You don't have to, put your full address. Don't do that. Protect yourself. See Mark C. Adam Wright. It's been a while. Where we go, when we go. Oh, Adam Wright, brother. Mark C. Wisco. We got Dancing Man 60 Seattle. Redeemed Patriot coming up out of Alaska. Yuma Shane Sir, Yuma, Arizona. Martin, Texas. Martin Maloney out of Texas. Good to see all of you patriots this evening. NH Patriot, New Hampshire. I see that, New Hampshire Patriot. Moss Dog, very familiar. Met you a few times, brother. Illinois. We got Marvin Hammond out of Dayton, Ohio. Hawaii, MH. Charlie Kirk, Dennis Hopper Banks. This guy thinks Charlie's dead too. First time here. James Bogg, West Virginia. Can't keep up. It's going too quick now. Chat safe. Hazel Point, Michigan. Julie out of Phoenix, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Maryland. You guys are just all over the place. Washington, south suburb of Chicago. Texas Patriot, Gary Maynard. South Central Texas. Lots of Texas out there. It's like when I was in boot camp. Like out of 88 of us starting out, it was a big chunk from Texas. A lot of people in Texas. So why do people always win the Powerball out of California? People are like, oh, you cheat out there. It's cheating. It's rigged. It could be. But there are a lot of people. A lot of people. It's great to see everybody back. Make sure you are subscribed. Looks like the channel is at the current moment on YouTube not being shadow banned. I've been looking, running the test. Even on the backup came first a week ago. No issues there. I don't know if I ever did an appeal on the backup. Maybe I have. Pretty sure I would have. But that one went right away. And then I had the hopes that the main one would. Good stuff. How about this one?
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do you solemnly swear? Do solemnly swear. Support and defend. Support and defend. The Constitution. That's coming. That's coming.
I'm going to bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's got to be biblical.
In my former life, I was an insider as much as anybody else. And I knew what it's like, and I still know what it's like to be an insider. It's not bad. It's not bad. Now I'm being punished for leaving the special club and revealing to you the terrible things that are going on having to do with our country. Because I used to be part of the club, I'm the only one that can fix it.
They've told us to be quiet. They've told us to say nothing and do nothing. But I'll tell you, I draw a line in the sand. Enough is enough. They've mocked the body of Christ for too long. An army of men and women is rising up in this hour.
Wow, that's an old one I just pulled up. All right, here we go.
Here's the story of a scheming lady who wanted to be ruler of the world with a man named Bill Clinton. He's her husband, but slept with other girls.
It's the story of a man named Bernie who promised socialism to the whole town.
Still loving all the memes, all right? Still putting memes out there.
To get himself around.
But then they lost the general election, and they knew alone they couldn't take down Trump. So to have a chance they all formed an alliance. That's the way they all became the Shady Bunch. The Shady Bunch. The Shady Bunch. That's the way they became the Shady Bunch.
In any foreign business because of what's happened in this administration.
That's great. All right, everybody, I am going to get out of here. I will see you back here really soon. It's been great to see everybody again. God bless and Godspeed to each and every one of you. And we'll see you back here on the next Patriot Hour update video.